Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is having a really fun pop culture happy hour, we're talking all things Blake Lively. I'm going to give you my conspiracy theory on what I think really happened with her and Justin Baldoni. We're also going to talk about Paige DeSorbo and her new line, Daphne. Is it amazing or is it a big flop? A new Bravo couple alert. Is it real? Is it not real? What are my thoughts on those? And a couple of other pop culture stories and topics sprinkled in. But if you want me to cover anything or you have any questions, drop it down below in the chat box. Say hi, because as always, I definitely want to know what you guys think and what you guys are up to. We will also be covering the Real Housewives of Miami, not tonight, but maybe this weekend or next week. So definitely keep on your toes with that. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's a fun and free way to support me and the show, and I would really, really appreciate that. So with that, let's dive right on in, you guys. All right, so let's see the first story we want to cover tonight. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Okay. Let's talk about. Oh, that's right, you guys. And also, linked down below is my Amazon shop. Everything that I use for my skincare and my makeup and all that fun stuff, I linked it down below. So if you want to shop some of my faves, definitely go down and check it out. All right. Now, let's talk about my conspiracy theory on what I think really happened with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the crash out that was This Ends With Us. If you and like really rock with me on this, okay? Because this is a big conspiracy and I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. And again, this is just my thoughts. If you remember, not this summer, and I believe it must have been last summer that it was all the ends with us drama, bring your florals, grab your girls, whatever the case may be. But the summer before that was the summer of Barbie. It was Barbie everywhere. Everybody was having pink parties and everyone was talking about Greta Gerwig, this female director. Everyone's talking about Margot Robbie, she was Barbie and her character and about femininity and womanhood and sisterhood and yada, 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 yada. And it was like this $1 billion brand, this $1 billion Barbie franchise, and everyone was talking about it. My first initial thoughts when I saw the marketing for It Ends With Us was she's trying to recreate the Barbie mania of it all. I think that Blake probably wanted to play Barbie. Maybe she didn't get the role. Maybe Ryan Reynolds wanted to play Ken, but it went to Ryan Gosling. Like, who knows? We all know that Billie Eilish allegedly has a big beef with Taylor Swift. Maybe there is something there with Taylor wanting her song and It Ends With Us, to kind of counteract Billie Eilish's song, what am I made for at Barbie. We also know that a big thing was control over writing credits, directing credits, producer credits, and that Blake really wanted to come in and allegedly bulldoze this project, make it be all about grab your florals and let's all hang out. And she also kind of wanted to direct, but we all know Justin Baldoni was directing. I think, just on a gut level, the reason why Blake Lively went as far out as she did, obviously everything else has come out about her allegedly being a mean girl and hard to work with, this, that, and the third. I think she wanted It Ends With Us to be bigger than Barbie. Grab your florals, wear your pink, whatever the case may be. I think she wanted to recreate that. We also saw that same semblance with when Barbie came out. It was Oppenheimer came out too, and it was like Barbieheimer, that whole thing. We saw Blake and Ryan trying to recreate that with It Ends With Us and Deadpool. They were like, oh, it ends with us, Deadpool, all this stuff, characters crossing over, whatever the case may be. I just sort of feel like Blake thought she could make Ends With Us, hijack it, and turn it into that Barbie success and be that sort of pretty it girl. And it just fell flat. Now, I know that the Judge Lehman, I believe his name is, dismissed Justin's counterclaim, the $400 million counter lawsuit. Now, just hypothetically, do I think that there probably needs to be some type of third party due diligence to make sure there's not some sort of, you know, uh, I don't know what the word is, conflict of interest there, probably, but I don't know. But I want to know what you guys think about this little conspiracy theory I have. I've always thought that Blake really just wanted to recreate and be Barbie, and that's why she's had this crash out over It Ends With Us. So I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. So with that, let's move on to our next story. So I'm basically going to talk about Next Gen NYC and why I think it's sort of flopping on Bravo. So I wasn't really going to watch it, but people are like, no, watch it, give it a chance. And I watched the first two episodes. And I think the problem is there's no there there. There's no characters that I'm really rooting for. There's no friendships that I think are truly genuine. I know that they're trying to make Brooks the heart of it. And it's like, Riley's like, I'll always have Brooks back. I'm there for Brooks. And G is like, Brooks and I are so close. And Brooks is kind of like, I hate conflict. So I need everyone to talk for me, oh my God. But um, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't know, maybe I've like aged out of that group of people, but it just seems I don't know. It doesn't seem any meat. There's no there there. There's nobody that I'm invested in. There's nobody that I truly care about. But there have been some really good nuggets that have come out because of all of this. Number one, Ariana Bierman, poor thing. She needs to get some serious therapy. I think she needs to cut off her family, if not emotionally, but definitely monetarily. There's no reason why she should be giving her mother money, and her mother and her stepfather money, or her dad, whatever she calls him, at this point in time, especially since she's claimed that they stole her money. That is absolutely crazy and bonkers to me. I don't know why um you would continue to give somebody money, family or not, who has stolen from you. I know that those, trauma bonds can be really hard to separate yourself from, but it just seems, I don't know, it just seems like a bit of a mess there. Now, I feel with the whole Charlie character and the whole Georgia characters, they are giving very racial macro aggressions towards Riley. Like, why is Georgia calling Riley not angry, but aggressive or angry or scary? I think she called her scary. And I'm like, there's nothing scary about Riley. She just said, excuse me, miss, why don't you wash your hands? Like, that's weird. So calling Riley scary, making such a big deal about it, wanting to confront her, was really weird. Then they had the whole a scene with the guy Dean or Sky, whatever the hell his name is, be like, well, Riley's once said she was gonna punch me in my face, outside of the club. Like, again, boy, sit down, be quiet, shut up. Like, I'll punch you in your face. Like, stop it. Again, trying to paint Riley as violent or aggressive was very weird. And then we sort of see the foreshadow for the next episode where Charlie's like, don't touch me, get off my arm, Riley. And it was kind of like doing a black scent. Like, Riley was like in this guy's face, and she's like about to cry. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, he's older than me. Like, what are you talking about? So I felt really bad for her. And I just sort of feel like I'm not going to enjoy watching these people basically be very racist towards Riley. Like, that's not enjoyable. So I hope that they're called out for that. I don't know if I'm going to continue to watch the show and see that, but I hope that they're called out for that. Um, the Ava character, she's Damon Dash's son. We all know Damon Dash, Jay-Z, and allegedly her mother is Becky with the good hair and all that stuff. Whatever, that's for a different time, a different show. But word on the curb is that she was recently evicted along with her roommates. I guess they had like a 10K month rental place in the city, and they weren't able to pay that. And then Damon Dash came out saying, yeah, I'm broke, but I'm starting these businesses from scratch, and I have to do all this, that, and a third. I guess he had some like multi-million dollar tax problem. Yikes. But again, that's what always happens with these shows, especially the ones where they are all about wealth and money. Unless you get people who have been able to sustain their wealth, or their wealth is legitimate, all of a sudden you have all these things coming out where people are being evicted, people cannot afford their rent, there's all these tax liens and all this, stuff comes out. So there's that. Gia to me is exhausting. I don't really know if I want to watch Gia. Elmira, Amira. Mhm. Charlie to me is very he gives predator vibes. Again, this is just how I feel. I don't know why a 30-year-old man is hanging out with 22-year-old people. Like that to me is just worlds away. Like I consider people in their teens to be like kids, or like early 20s, like your kids. I wouldn't want to hang out with that. So to me, he just gives very weird, very loser vibes. Like you have all this money, you have everything and every opportunity in your life, but yet you're hanging out with these kids and you're not doing anything. Very bizarre. You like, are hanging out with guys who are doing OF, which is no shade to OF, but it's like you're trying to put yourself higher than people, but yet you're hanging out with people who are doing OF and you're also like 8 years older than them. That's just weird to me. That just rubs me the wrong way. I like Riley. I think she's really cool. I'm not sure if she's built for reality TV because I know she's grown up in it, but that's a different story to grow up in it versus being like on it because she just seems really nice and normal. And so I don't know if any conflict with her will be real or it'll be detrimental to her. Again, I don't really like the racial microaggressions against her on Next Gen NYC. I'm not here for that. I do like Hudson, who is Ariana's boyfriend. He actually seems to be pretty level-headed and seems to have a good head on his shoulder. I really liked him. I thought he was cool. So that's kind of how I felt about Next Gen NYC. I'm not sure I'm going to be tuning in anymore. It just seems like a flop and a fail to me. I'm just not here for it. Okay, let's see. All right. So then also, let's talk about the Valley real quick. So we know that the Valley is winding down season 2, and there's been a lot of, talk and controversy about next season casting. And apparently, allegedly, there was this fake letter going around saying that Nia and Danny had quit the Valley, that they had sent this note saying, after long prayer and thought, we decided that this is no longer the environment that we want to raise our children in. So we are going to, kind of bow out. But word on the street is that this was a fake note going around. And I'm sort of like, Janet, is this you? Like, Janet, are you on some Karen stuff? And did you put this out there to the press to get Danny and Nia off the show because your, huge, whatever you want to call it, your vendetta against them didn't work. Like your whole plan to bring them down did not work. And nobody wants you back on the show. Nobody likes you on the show. So I'm looking at Janet like, is this something Janet pulled where she is the one who, posted this about Nia and Danny? I would not be surprised, but I am very happy to say that Nia and Danny are still on the show. Okay. Now let's talk about Paige DeSorbo's pajama line, Daphne, named after her cat. Now, you guys all know I am not a Paige fan. I am not a giggler. I was happy when Hannah got fired. She's very bizarre to me. Now, we know Paige is leaving. She's not coming back, which I think is fine. I don't think she really gives anything anyway. Now, her whole pajama line pretty much flopped. It premiered this week, I think on like the 10th or something. They're saying on the website that everything sold out after one day. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. I think that they're just saying it sold out. That's just my personal opinion based on the backlash that it's gotten and based on the feedback. Number one, it excludes the plus size community. I think the largest sizes it goes up to is XL or like a 12, which in 2025 in the world we live in, that's not plus size by any means, And so a lot of the plus size community was up in arms about it. But I was just like, I don't know why you guys are surprised, especially the ones who are like, I love Paige, but I can't believe she didn't include us. Like, do you not know Paige? Like, Paige and Hannah and Amanda and Sarah, they are, in my opinion, and again, this is not personally against them because I don't know them, but the personas that they put out on reality TV and on social media, they're mean and they're nasty and they are not girls. They are themselves girls, but they're not girls. That's a big bunch of baloney and big fat lies. So the fact that her line did not include plus size, I was more shocked that you expected it to. Paige and these girls have been telling you who they are for a very long time. Paige and Hannah want to act like they are feminists and there are anti-patriarchy and this, that, and a third, but they are on their massive giggly swat platform have remained very silent when it comes to the orange man in the White House. How they have not spoken out against them. I'm pretty sure, again, allegedly, in my opinion, they are T supporters. They voted for T. So you cannot look me in the face and tell me you are a girl's girl and down with the patriarchy and you have nothing to say about the state of this country, about women's rights in this country, about immigrants' rights in this country, about everything going on, and you want to look me in the face and tell me you're a girl's girl? Get the hell out of here. They've always had microaggressions against minorities and against who aren't a double zero. So my biggest question was why did you expect her line to be inclusive when she clearly is not inclusive by any means? By any means. They tell y'all exactly who they are. Okay? Also, it was extremely overpriced. Like this little dinky white t-shirt called the Hannity Vom is like what, $68? Like you got to get out of here. Like Paige, you number one, you're not the Row, you're not Celine, you're not Loewe, you're not any of these places. You're not girl bye. You're an influencer selling clothes. And that's no tea, no shade, but I'm not buying this t-shirt from you for $78. She had camis for $58. And then if you wanted to actually get a whole set, it would cost you like $250, $260 for a whole set. Girl, you've lost the plot. The designs were uninspired. They kind of look like glorified medical scrubs. And there was also quality questions. Like to me, it's giving very Whitney Rose, Alibaba situation, where a lot of influencers will they'll source their jewelry, their makeup, their skincare, all their stuff, their fashion line from Alibaba, from AliExpress, throw their label on it, and then mark it up real high. I'm not buying a pajama set from Paige DeSorbo for $260. You've lost the plot, babe. And then she also had copying allegations against her. There's another company called CVPJs, another company has CVPJs, and she basically broke down how she had given her lookbook and her press kit and all the things and all the branding for her, Zoom PJs, whatever her branding was, to a woman who ultimately became one of Paige's like managers or co-founders or brand or whatever, and how she basically copied her style and all of that stuff. So Paige missed me with all this. I've never been a Paige girl, like ever, or a giggle, like never, because I see the like, and also Paige to me isn't fashion. I mean, in my humble opinion, I think I have better fashion sense than Paige does. She's not a fashion girl. Her looks are whack. They're weird. You know what I mean? I don't think she's a fashion girly. She calls herself that, but I mean, I guess, manifest it, Paige. Be Delulu, speak it into existence, but you're not a fashion girly, in my opinion. And I don't know how you're selling this stuff like this. Now, I did find a couple of, let me see if I can find it real quick. I did find a couple of other TikTokers talking about it. Now, I'm on Restream, which is like a platform I'm just getting used to. So I'm going to try and do this without messing anything up. So let me know if this works. Okay. Oh, come on, come on, come on. All right, let's see. All right, here we go.
I love Summer House and I like Paige, and I'm really happy she's starting her own brand called Daphne after her cat, which I love. But when people were talking about the prices, I thought they were joking till I went to the website. $110 for one pajama shirt? One shirt? One shirt. And then the mini dress is like $68. The pants are $120. Here's the thing. $100+ for pajamas. It should be a set at the very least. So in order for someone to complete this look, they would have to spend $230, not including tax and shipping? In what fucking reality? And then I keep going and there's a cami. Okay, we all know what a cami is. We've all felt a cami. $58? What did you do? Spin out of gold? No, like, it sounds so hater like, but I'm being dead ass with these brands that y'all make. The prices are a little bit much. $40 for a cami would be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's expensive. That's a splurge. But I cannot be convinced. And people are like, well, then just don't buy it. It's sold out. I hope people enjoy it. I'm not saying that it's terrible quality. I'm not hyperfixated.
Paige, I do appreciate the response, and I did appreciate that everything is 100% cotton. And now, while I have you here, can you and Hannah please use your large platform to speak out on the Trump administration? Thank you.
Yeah, and I have some more videos if you guys want to watch those too. But for me, this is an absolute flop. I don't believe it sold out in a day, and it's giving copy and paste influencer brand. You got the pajamas from Alibaba, you got the pajamas from AliExpress, or a very similar type of company. You threw your label on it, you threw it on a website, you made these ridiculous prices, and you did not even include the plus size community, and now you expect us to pay all this money for it. Flop. A Paige miss me, flop area. It is what it era. Let me know what you guys think and put it down below. So let's move on to okay. Now, I thought this was some very interesting Bravo news, new couple alert, maybe, maybe not. So, as we all know, Vanita from Southern Charm was very weird and wacky when she had her whole, what do you call it? She had her whole crush on JT, which I thought was just absolutely whack and absolutely crazy. He clearly did not like her back. And in my opinion, she was giving very stalker vibes, very stalker girl. I was confused as to why she kept trying to hook up with him when JT kept telling her, I'm in a relationship, I'm seeing someone, and he was trying his hardest not to hurt her feelings. But the moment you are asking a guy to, like, again, also cringe, because I would never ask a guy to be with me. I feel like that's his job to ask me, but that's just me. No judgment. But if you're asking a guy to be with you and he's telling you I'm with somebody else and you continue to try to get him, desperado, weird vibes, I'm not here for it. Word on the curb is Vanita is now dating, have dated, or is after Carl from Summer House. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Bravo world is small. How do they meet? But as we know, this season, Carl professed his love for Sierra, which was weird and probably a lot of projection. And Sierra was like, we can be friends. But as we know, Sierra and Vanita are very, very close. So I wonder if there's something going on with like Sierra trying to get Vanita and Carl together, or whatever that case may be. Or is this more of Vanita wishing and a hoping and on a prayer, wanting to be with someone who doesn't want to be with her, and Carl, very similar to like a JT, doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings and put them down lightly. Now, that's not to say that there's anything wrong with Vanita, but there's something, I don't know. Vanita, to me, I need her to just be a little less weird and a little less people pleasing needy. I don't that energy to me, this is very like repelling, that type of energy. Like, she is all up Madison's butt when Madison is very mean to her. She was all up JT's butt when he was like, I'm dating someone and I like you as a friend, but like, that's it. Stop with all this nonsense. You know, so to me, I like Vanita, but sometimes it's weird. Her chemistry and the way she interacts with people is very weird. I like Carl. Now let's talk about Summer House just a little bit in this. I personally think Summer House needs an entire reboot. I think that they're doing some sort of spin-off with maybe Paige and Lindsay and Amanda and Hannah and Sarah. Maybe they're doing some world version of that spin-off. I don't think Summer House the way it is now is sustainable. I think that the people who have been on their kind of rant, like, they're all kind of aging out. Like, Lindsay is like almost 40. She has a baby. Kyle is in his 40s. And I think Carl might be late 30s, early 40s, same area. And I'm not age shaming by any means. I just think that the premise of the show and them trying to bring in like Wes and Jesse and Emerald and Lexi, it's just two worlds colliding that don't really make any sense. Like to me, Emerald was done so dirty. Justice for Emerald, the girls in the group, unless you are, if you are a guy and you pay attention to any female that's not Paige, Amanda, or Sierra, they are so mean to you and they're nasty to you. If you are a female and you're not up their butt like Alexi or a Jules or a Gabby, they are so mean to you. To me, they're a bunch of very insecure, pick me, mean girls. Paige, miss me. Amanda, miss me. Sierra, miss me. All of it. I love the glory days of like a Lindsay and like the Workus twins and just like it was just like fun. I don't know. Summer should be fun, you guys. Summer should be fun. I think if they're gonna continue Summer House, I think maybe ushering a new group of people, you know, and maybe Kyle can get a spinoff with everybody else and like look at their life with Loverboy. What are they doing in the city? What does life in this phase look like? Sort of like Vanderpump Rules, right? How the Vanderpump Rules cast aged out of what Vanderpump Rules was, and then we got the Valley. Now, when it comes to the Valley, I'm tired of Sheena Shea being a ghost producer on the show. It's bizarre. I don't need Lala. I don't want Ariana's brother. I don't want all those people coming to the Valley. I think it should be one of two things. Either do the Valley with the cast that you have now, which I think is a very strong cast, maybe Janet can go, but that's a different conversation. Or have the Vanderpump's alums collectively do their own spinoff. I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying do one or the other because I think that the Valley is going to be oversaturated with this new cast plus all the Vanderpump Rules alums. It's getting sloppy. It's getting too many ingredients in the pot. Too many. It's getting to be too much. And I think they need to streamline it or they're going to mess it up. And to be honest, the Valley has kind of dipped a lot in ratings this season, and that I can get it. I get it. I understand why. But I want to know what you guys think about this, alleged new Bravo couple. Are we here for Vanita and Carl? Are we not here for them? Like, like what do you guys think? Put it down below. Me personally, I think I don't know how I feel about this couple. I'm not sure if it's real. I don't know if it would last. I don't know. But as always, you guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's do an open chat. Let's talk. Drop your questions in your comments down below, and I will also take your candy canes question and comments. Hey, Skilo, sending love back to you. Holy Moly says, ew, are you serious? Yeah, I think you were talking about Paige's pajama line. Yeah, this chick had the nerve to charge over $250 for a set of PJs that aren't designed very well, basically has no design. This is something you could get at Target for like 20 bucks. Walmart if you're nasty, okay? Like these are not high quality, super design, really cool PJs by any means at all. You know what I mean? Like you could easily just pop over to Amazon and get a pair for 20 bucks. Pop over to Target, 20 bucks. Oh wait, we're boycotting Target. Pop over to wherever. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Exactly. Holy Moly says she's out of her mind 100%. 100%. Teaching Trends. Hey, Teaching Trends, how are you? Says a 2025 version of pajama jeans in white for $78. Just what I always wanted. Not. I agree 100% with that. Like absolutely crazy, bizarre, and weird, and I'm just not here for it. It's a flop. It's a miss for me. Holy Miss says she's terrible for dressing for her body shape. I agree because she has a very unique, like almost like a square top and then legs and a very boxy. She has a very boxy body type and she doesn't dress to flatter it. I would agree with that 100%. Holy Moly says the nerve. I agree. Teaching Shin says all 6 pieces sold out in just one day. Wow. That's the thing though. Did they? I think this is a marketing ploy. I think that they received the backlash. I'm sure they got some sales, of course, but I think they just put sold out in order for it to look like it's in higher demand than what it is. That's just my gut. Again, I could be completely wrong. They could have sold out of these, $250 TJ Maxx pajama sets. They totally could have sold out on that, and I could be completely wrong. I could be. But my gut, based on everything I saw online, the quality, just tells me it didn't do as well as they thought, and they're saying sold out to save face. That's just my gut feeling. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this for Paige. Whoever does her PR, she has a brilliant PR team. She gets great press. You will get articles, written glowing articles about her and Daphne and all this, that, and the third. And she's getting great press and all these great opportunities. So who's ever doing her press, chef's kiss, because she has a great publicist. Holy Moly says, yeah, they sold out because the stock is like 4. Exactly. Hey, teaching trends. Exactly. Teaches, I want Carl to find love. I'm still not sure about Benita. They would take some great fashion photos together. See, I agree. I want Carl to find love too. And I'll also drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat. Absolutely no pressure by any means. But just in case, I'll drop it before we wrap everything up. Okay. I agree. Like I want Carl to find love too. I just don't think it's going to be with Venita. I also want Venita to find some self-respect. Like the way she lets Madison and the way she lets the cast of Southern Charm just like run over her and really clown her. I don't know. It's not giving what she thinks it's giving, if you know what I mean. I don't again. I don't want to say it's because of race. I don't. Maybe it's just more like personality type, where she lets people run over her because to me, she has that people pleaser spirit in her. So maybe it's that, but I don't know. Who knows? And Holy Moly said exactly. Yes. All right, you guys. So those were all my pop culture stories that I had for today and my thoughts on it. So put it in the chat box if there's anything else that you guys had wanted to talk about. Let me know. Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me add some channels on here. Oops. Nope, that wasn't it. Let me see. But put it in the chat box. Any questions or comments you guys have. Let's see if that works. Okay. All right, let's see if that's working. All right. Okay, Teaching Shen says they made her believe that boy was playing her and started to stalk him. Yeah. Venita and JT, right? So what I think happened with Venita and JT is I think that JT was just like really nice to her, and I think she ended up catching feelings, and I think that he didn't know how to let her down without hurting her feelings, so he led her on. Because a lot of the stories didn't match. Like she was online being like, he led me on, he never said he had a girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. But then we see or he stopped talking to me right after the trailer dropped. We were together, all this, that, and the third. But then you see on the show, during the season, he very clearly says to her, I have a girlfriend, like I want to be friends with you, but like that's it. And then she like goes to his hotel room while like she's like drunk and tries to like sit on him and do stuff with him, and he has to like physically push her off. I'm sorry, but if I ever put myself in a position where a man has to physically push me off of him, and then she thought that was like a flex, I have to start I have to start rethinking my entire life. That's when I kinda, like, pack up everything and just kind of rethink my entire life if that's a situation I put myself in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's time to pack it up and think about it. So, that's kinda where I land with that one on her. So, we'll see. Yeah. Yep. So Teaching Trin says yes, he did not like her, and because he was nice, and she told her non-friends, they turned the non thing into a thing. Exactly, exactly. I think he just really didn't know how to let her down without hurting her feelings, but he was like trying to. Also, let's talk about the whole thing where they were trying to make JT look like a racist. I don't think JT is racist at all. This is what I think happened with the whole hairdresser situation. Because remember, they were like, oh, JT said that the hairdresser, well, whoever the hairdresser told Ryan, right? Ryan was like, "Oh, JT said to the hairdresser, oh, like, some black girl has a crush on me on the show or something like that." And they tried to blow that up into a whole thing because they were all anti JT. This is what I think happened. And let me know what you guys think on this. I think that JT was getting his hair cut by said hairdresser. I don't think the hairdresser knew who Vanita was or knew who people in the cast, who knew everybody in the cast, but maybe not Vanita. I think he was getting his hair cut. They're chopping it up. And he's like, "So what's going on this season? You guys are filming." And JT is like, "Yeah, I'm have this whole thing storyline going on with Vanita, this, that, and the third." And I think the hairdresser probably said, "Who's Vanita?" My gut says JT says the black girl because she's the only black girl on the show. Okay. And then I think the hairdresser brought it back to Ryan as, because the hairdresser doesn't know who Vanita is, as some black girl. Like, oh, JT said that he was talking to some black girl. And then I think that Leva and JT, I think they lied. I think they got together because they wanted to make JT not look racist, even though he isn't, and made up the whole he said some cute black girl in order to make it sound better or more palpable. That's what I think happened. I think JT was like, "Oh yeah, I have X, Y, and Z going on with Vanita." Because again, to me, I think the simplest answer is usually the truth. And I think what the natural conversation would be like, "Oh, who's Vanita? Oh, she's the black girl on the show." And then the hairdresser, with his sassy self, I love a sassy hairdresser, goes back to Ryan and it's just like, "Oh, some black girl." And then Ryan takes it and takes it as like, "Oh, he said some black girl." And then boom, this whole thing, if that makes sense. So I think that's more of where it came from. But JT doesn't give me any type of racist vibes at all. And some cute, all of that, you know what I mean? Yes, in certain contexts, saying some black girl would be horrible and very wrong. But in this context, I don't think he said that. But I do think him and Leva got together before they called the hairdresser, prepped the hairdresser to clear everything up. And I do think that they made up he said cute black girl. I think he said the black girl because she is the black girl on the cast. And that's okay. Teaching Trin says he thought it looked bad to turn down a black girl on TV and tried to let her down nice. 100%. He didn't want to appear to be turning her down because of her race and it would look bad. 100%. Teaching Chin says, I agree. He probably said, the black girl on the show. Exactly. Because that to me, it just sounds more natural. It's how people talk. It's how you would. If it's one white girl and a group of black girls, you'd be like, oh, the white girl on the show. And you'd be like, oh, Kim Zolciak. You know what I mean? If you're talking about Roa. So I think it was more that than JT being like, oh, some black girl, dismissive. I don't think so. But Vanita, you're also wrong because he told you so many times he has a girlfriend and he didn't want you in that way. And you kept trying to get him and you kept being delusional in the bad way, not the manifested way, but the actual cuckoo way. You were being delulu as hell. I know what we have. I know you want this. If you are, PSA, if you are a woman and you are telling a man that you know he wants it, I'm sorry, sweetheart, he doesn't. Because if he wanted it, he would have gotten it. Love yourself some more. Get some self-love. Because the guy out there who really will love you and cherish you, you don't have to convince him that he wants you. He knows that he wants you. And there won't be a question about it. Teaching Shin says, yes, he tried to clean it up 100%. 100%. He's like, oh no, I said a cute black girl. Oh, I didn't say summer that. 100%. 100%. Okay, you guys. So Miami just launched season 7 and we just got episode 1. I'm going to do a full Miami live, but what are we thinking so far about the Miami girls and the Miami season? I'm excited for it. I think the new girl, I think her name is Sarah. She is Dr. Nicole's forever fiance, Anthony's ex. I think she's going to be fiery. I think she's going to be spicy. She kind of goes head to head with Adriana. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really good season. It's really juicy. I'm excited to see Lisa versus Larsa. I wonder how that's all going to pan out, if they're going to be able to get their friendship back. It's giving very Candy Burruss and Phaedra Part. Like when Phaedra and Apollo broke up and Candy was with her husband Todd, and Todd and Apollo were still really good friends. And Candy didn't really have Phaedra's back like that. And so that was really the demise of their friendship. Very similar to how Jody is really wanting to stay friends with Marcus. And Lisa is sort of like, well, I can't control him. He's a man. He wants to be friends with He's friends with him. Don't come at me about it. So yeah, I have some thoughts on Miami. We'll cover that. But I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, you guys, those were kind of my pop culture. Yes, Teaching Trend says I'm ready for Lisa versus Larsa. Now listen, this season, this episode 1, Lisa ate Larsa down. She ate her down. She was like, I left a real party for your fake breakup, and Larsa lost her GD mind. Now, this is the thing. I agree with Larsa on some things out of principle, but I also agree with Lisa on some things out of principle. Like, she can't control Jody. If Jody still wants to be friends with Marcus, that is his prerogative. She said, I didn't go to dinner. I'm not hanging out with Marcus, but I cannot control a grown man if he wants to be with him. I also understand Larsa. You're my best friend. Don't hang out with a guy who I've just broken up with, and don't hang out with the guy who is, threatening me and being mean to me online. But also at the core, sort of like what Lisa said, how real was Larsa and Michael's relationship? Or Marcus's, see, Michael Jordan, Marcus Jordan. I always thought Lisa and Marcus was a PR stunt. I thought their whole relationship was for clicks and views, storylines, podcast deals, photos, TMZ, the paparazzi. Like, I thought it was all for show. And it was all a very much an understanding between the two of them. He did him, she did her, and they sort of had this PR relationship. So there's that. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Yeah, so with that, you guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you for joining me on Club Candy, where we talk about all things pop culture, but make it luxe. We'll be doing some more videos over the week and over the weekend. I'm definitely going to cover Miami. I don't know if I'm doing Beverly Hills, but there are a couple of stories popping out about the girls that I really want to talk about. Some of Kyle Richards' hypocrisy. I just can't get enough of it. As much as I hate it, I have to talk about it. Just a little bit. Stuff going on with Ding Dong Dorit and PK. So we'll talk about some of that stuff too. But as always, be sure to drop down below any stories you want me to cover, whether it's pop culture, conspiracy theory, true crime, reality TV. Drop it down below. Yes, Teaching Trends. Thank you guys so much. And also, don't forget that I do have my Amazon store if you guys want to shop it. That is also down below. All of my beauty products, skincare products, some fashion stuff thrown in there as well. So be sure to check everything out. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.